First and foremost, a review of the three readings we just listened to. In the book of Exodus, the Lord reminded the Israelites through Moses, "Remember how I dealt with the Egyptians, how I brought you up on eagle wings. And if you listen, you shall be my special possession, dearer to me than any other nation." What a privilege, what love, what single-hearted devotion to a people who did not deserve it. That is number one. In the second reading, Paul's letter to the Romans, Paul reminded the Romans, while we were still sinners, Christ died for us. What compassion! What single-hearted devotion, dedication, and forgiveness given to a sinful people. God loves you and me without conditions. God loves Putin, and that's why he's still alive. God loves Xi Jinping. God loves the North Korean leader. God loves every rotten to the core politician in this country. God loves us in spite of our being so corrupt. God loves us even if we are our average IQ, according to studies, is now below average. That's 2 steps lower than Singapore and many other countries. Below average, kawawa naman tayo, but God loves us. And God looks at us with compassion. And this is what the gospel talks about. Jesus was going about the Holy Land, Palestine, Israel, and finding people like sheep without a shepherd, with no one to care for them. The Lord took pity on them. And mind you, the English doesn't do justice to the real language. The language is violent. It is a gut-wrenching feeling galing sa kaibuturan ng pagkatao ni Jesus. Yung kabuuan ng kanyang pangangatawan, lahat gut-wrenching. Christ took pity on them, for they were like sheep without a shepherd. Let us make no mistake about it, even if we are a very corrupt nation. The big problem all over the country, and I travel quite a bit to see this and prove for myself, the big problem is parking space. The bigger problem is roads. We've got lots of house owners here with more than one car, but only one garage. So they're all over the road. And they are angry when they are reminded to remove their car from somebody else's driveway. The Lord loves us and looks at us with compassion. In spite of everything, in spite of our shenanigans, in spite of our being so callous and indifferent, in spite of the fact that we destroy, we will be the most hard hit because of climate change and global warming. It doesn't depend on whether or not you agree with this. Global warming or climate change, for me, it's a reality that I cannot deny. I see it every day. Pilots all over the world are saying that everywhere they fly, they meet with turbulences all over, much more than they ever did 20, 30, 40 years ago. And they have what they call clear air turbulence. Walang bagyo pero meron turbulence. Clear air turbulence. Some of you might be pilots here, so you know better than me. The Lord took pity on us despite all. The Lord looks at us with compassion, and it is a gut-wrenching feeling. Hindi ito Facebook post o TikTok video. Hindi ito microvlog. Hindi ito microblog. This is real. The Lord looks at us with love and compassion. For we are like sheep without a shepherd. Our elections are the national pastime of the whole Philippines. The whole country seems to be all agog and excited during elections. And those who have no work suddenly find work days before elections. And they are in the polling places a good 12 hours before the elections open. And they wear t-shirts supplied by their favorite candidates. And we always quarrel with each other depending on what colors we are. And we always find it in our heart to go against somebody. And then in social media, there is the call out and the cancel culture. There is nothing ever that you can do right because somebody will call you out. And if you talk about the Lord, they will cancel you. Ikaw na. The cancel culture, the call out culture. Ang galing natin magmuras sa social media. We are all angry and we are all experts in social media. We are all engineers and psychologists and social scientists in social media. But the Lord looks at us with compassion even if we are still a developing country. Manuel Quezon said many decades ago, it's better to have a country run like hell by Filipinos than a country run like heaven by foreigners. And he was right. And look at us. We are still a developing country. We're nowhere near. That's why I hate Quora. If those of you are active in social media, if you have a chance to go to Quora, their favorite weeping boy is the Philippines. Why is the Philippines so dirty? Why is the Philippines so backward? And time and again, I see foreigners defending us. I almost would like to give a trophy to them because they look at us not too kindly from all over. Our IQ is below average. Elections are a national pastime. We are fooled by fake news, and we believe those who we want to believe. And those of you who are for Eat Bulaga, the original one, and Eat Bulaga, the current one, will have one position over against the other, and we never quite find it in our heart to agree. But today, I don't want to remain in bad news. My style in my preaching is I always start with the bad news because I have better news to leave with you. And that is the good news of salvation, the good news about the Lord looking at us with love and compassion, the Lord who feels it from His gut to take pity on us because we are troubled and abandoned like sheep without a shepherd. And today the gospel precisely tells us this. It's like a short story. It has a beginning action. And the beginning action tells us Jesus saw the crowds. Jesus sees us. Jesus sees our conditions. The Philippines, ever a developing country since I was born. And we have not gotten quite better except in building malls. And all our parks are gone, they are all malls. We're only good at having the world's biggest mall in Asia. But not quite, not more than that. Beginning action, Jesus sees us. Rising action, He said, the harvest is abundant, but the laborers are few. What is this? The Lord taking action. The Lord telling us, at least pray, at least ask the Master of the harvest to send out laborers for His harvest. And then the climax, He summoned the 12. And these were named individually: Simon, Andrew, James, John, Philip, Bartholomew, Thomas, Matthew, James, Thaddeus, Simon from Cana, and Judas Iscariot. If you're not convinced that the Lord looks at everyone with compassion, then what's Judas Iscariot doing here? What am I doing here? What are you doing here? The Lord loves you, warts and all. The Lord loves you despite all your selfishness, all my greed and selfishness and self-centeredness. He loved Judas honestly, sincerely. But Judas was not very sincere. And then, resolution. Jesus sent out these 12 after instructing them thus. As you go, make this proclamation, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. So what do we do? And this is now the good news. There is work to do for you and me. And let me illustrate. I've been here 4 times. The first time was when I was a second-year student of theology. Father Quaranta was a parish priest. So many of those who are serving in church right now as lectors, Maxi and all, they were all the young people at the time. So they're just a little younger than me right now. So I'm happy to see some of them. But I'm sad about seeing so many who were young then, who were middle-aged, who were very active in this parish. They are all now gray, and some have no hair anymore. And I realized, boy, are they old? Am I getting old too? And I don't like it. The Lord looks at us with compassion. Why? My question is this, what do you do? The beginning action, Jesus saw what was the problem. Rising action, He came up with a solution. The harvest is abundant, but the laborers are few. So pray, the Lord of the harvest. And then the climax, He summoned the 12. And then the resolution, Jesus sends them. Now, my question is this, where are the young people? All the members of the Pope's worldwide prayer movement that used to be Apostolado ng Panalangin, they're all graying and old. Some of them have gone ahead. The Knights of Columbus, I see only 1 or 2 young people. He's not here now. All the other members of the church organizations, where are the young people? They are bringing dogs. They are addicted to gadgets. One thing that surprised me in social media is this. There are obese camps. There are camps for everything all over the developed world. There are camps for obese in China. There are camps for those who are addicted to gadgets in America. There are camps for those addicted to alcohol. There are camps and camps. In the Philippines, where are the young people? Well, our IQ is below average, but we're number 1 in TikTok. And they are all TikToking outside. As soon as the mass is finished, they're all doing like this and dancing and singing and raising their feet behind the church, in front of the church, everywhere. Where are the young people? This is the resolution we all should do.